Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, September the 16th. And today we're doing wait, Grens? That's right, Grens on stage 1. And a couple other stages too, I promise. Last night, uh, I finished an upgrade. My Grens are now officially level 8. And I know a while back, I was talking about, like throwing in some Grens, doing some Grank attacks on stage 7 way back. And someone was like, well, like, what level Grens? And I was kind of taken aback because I was like, you know what? That's a great question, and I have no freaking clue what the right answer would be. Like, obviously max if possible, but what can we get away with? So, when they kind of asked, they mentioned level 7, and I was like, well, level 7 might be a little low, but when I realized that my Grens were at level 8, I was like, alright, you know what? Let's do this. Let's see how far I can get, Worst case scenario, I'll switch over to Team Ed and finish things off. So, that's what I decided today called for. I honestly don't know why. Especially with Warrior Weekend going on. I could have just warriored all of these and been incredibly warrior-tastic. But that's okay. I promise there are going to be warrior attacks in the coming days, I guess. Technically we got like, what, 3 or 4 days where we get the Gren or the Warrior Weekend, so something will happen. But yeah, basically, I hope that everybody has their hot pots and their shock blasters and their shield generators all built up on the old weapons lab, because dear God, Warrior Weekend is here. It is going to be horrible. Also, I guess with all of that, I hope you guys have some like corner bases or like back center bases planned out in your town hall. I shouldn't call it a town hall. People who also play. Are we allowed calling it COC? I don't know. Clash of Clans, is that the like COC is the thing? Anyways, shall we? So yeah, oh wow. The full ramifications of that name just kind of sunk in, and I am going to cruise right on past that. Once I figure out where I left off before I amused myself for far too long in my head, I will join you guys back in. Sorry. So yes, it is Gren weekend. Warriors are going to abound. Have all of your bases and prototypes ready so that you can defend against warrior upon warrior upon warrior. Especially because, like, honestly, if people are practicing with the warriors and learning and training up, you only have to take out a handful and you start getting some intel and gems. So even if you're getting, beaten up and still taking the loss, by all means, get the intel and get the gems and hope for the best. I know that's normally what I do when I'm defending, but, defense is really sad. Alright, stage 5. I decided to go around the left-hand side. You could go around the right-hand side, but there's like 3 or 4 boom cannons chilling up there. So, I don't know why. I guess if you're tight for time, if you're having problems actually getting to the HQ on time, and you just have an overabundance of GBE, by all means go up that right-hand side. It'll be a lot quicker. If you have the time and don't have the GBE, which I think most people probably fall into, go around this left-hand side. You will have to drop a couple of smokes on the landing just to protect your troops from the boom cannons and shock launchers that are all kind of in range there. And flare up into the back corner. Once you're past those, it is clear sailing. There is a boom cannon, which obviously I have already blown up right next to the HQ, but honestly, like, come on. There's one sniper tower, one cannon, and one boom cannon. One shock can take out all of that jazz. And all that jazz. Okay. So, once you take out the few remaining defenses, if you're using Grens too, load yourself up right there, and I just kind of, I had a couple drift off. I just let them do their thing. I figured, worst case scenario, they're going to score me some extra GBE. Best case scenario, they're going to do a little extra damage on the HQ by taking out defenses, and I'm not losing anything by letting them go over there and do their thing. So, like, hey, why not? And then stage 5 falls, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself because, well, you know, I only lost one Zooka. I am on stage 5. I'm feeling pretty confident, and then I land on stage 6. Stage 6. So, to start off, there are a bunch of, I guess, Gren food? I don't know. Would it be Gren food? There's a bunch of defenses that really don't do a whole lot of anything to Grens because of their incredible range. And I landed over so that I could take advantage of them instead of over in, like, say, the right-hand corner, where I'd have to kind of fight my way out of that corner. I was like, no, instead of fighting my way out of that corner, how about I fight my way into that corner? Because up against a machine gun, your Gren's going to last a lot longer. It's going to have a lot less problems than going up against a cannon because, as we learned last level, a single shot from one of those crazy cannons will take out one of my poor Grens. So I used the machine guns to kind of point the trajectory of the Grenadiers towards the defenses that are going to do something worse than I want them to. If that makes sense. I've slowly been trying to learn how to Gren since the Gren weekend, because they are pretty fun, and I figure, you know, if I'm gonna rock some tanks and Grens, I should probably know how they kind of work, right? So anyways, into the bottom right-hand corner, and then I just let the Grens come out. They naturally will go right to that first defense, which is perfect, because from there they just start carpet bombing all of these defenses in front of the HQ. Now, I'd like to add up, because it's Warrior Weekend, if you take a close look at this, honestly, you could, like, get your warriors up in this base with, like, you know, maybe 3 or 4 smokes and a shock on a couple of defenses and another shock on the shock launcher, and you could warrior this base really, really easily. Well, assuming your warriors have high enough level that they can actually pull off the damage required to take out the base, because it's only 256,000 hit points, which for a stage 6 is crazy, crazy low, but I don't know. So, same thing with Stage 5. It's 250k on Stage 5, and it probably would have taken a few more smokes, but it seemed very much doable as far as the warriors go. And I'm thinking, like, warriors already load up ridiculously fast and cheap. I don't know. So, Stage 7. Oh yeah, we beat Stage 6 with no losses, with the Grens, that are level 8 Grens. They're crazy, I know. So I had to throw myself at Stage 7 before I could call it quits, because, you know, everybody needs the Grens. There is a big boom cannon right there, and I was like, alright, well, we gotta take out that boom cannon. And as you can see, well, or hopefully saw, while I was glancing up there, there is just a sea of flamethrowers and machine guns in between me and the HQ, and I thought at this point, like, oh, because I started to get a little excited about the possibility that I could actually pull this off. So I hugged left-hand side because there's a bunch of sniper towers and boom cannons and shock launchers and lions and tigers and bears all over on the right-hand side. And, well, I wanted to avoid them, because those things are all bad for my poor Grens. And really, for that matter, if you're rolling tanks or anything else, you're kind of probably going to be in the same boat. So, hug the left-hand side, and then I did. I got up here and I double-checked, and there's 3 sniper towers that, yeah, you might have to take care of. And there's a couple rocket launchers in just behind the HQ. So I started tossing some artillery onto defenses, not necessarily to take them out, but just to weaken them, make it a little bit easier for my Zookas to charge through there and do a little more damage. Almost like adding my own Gren, because it's, you know, that little area effect and it does a bunch of damage, and it's kind of crazy and drunken and random, so sometimes it does what you want, but sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. And once the rocket launchers were gone, I realized, like, all of the sustained damage on my Grens is really pretty much gone. Like, I've got 1 mortar that can reach out and touch someone, and 1 rocket launcher, which is incredibly low. So, into the corner I go. Hi-ho, hi-ho. And I just let the Grens do what the Grens do. They started blowing up all the defenses in behind there, and I realized, holy smokes, I can throw some GBE. I got this. I got this. It is on. So I start throwing my artillery and barrage, and then I realize after I finish it all, oh no, up in the top, very tippity top, there are a bunch of non-defense free GBE buildings right there. 1 artillery or barrage could have blown up all of them and given me a bonus to my GBE, but unfortunately I missed out, and now the race is on against the clock. Good thing is I win. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been entertaining, and most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.